Hey guys, I'm back. It's Michael Hoskinson with K9 Control, and this is our K9 Convos. I am fired up today. I have been going over this topic for days now, and I have been doing research after research, and I have been going over and over the information, and every time I do, I'm getting more and more pissed about it. It is absolutely insane. We are going to talk about separation anxiety. I have zero idea how many episodes it's going to take to get all the way through this, but we are going to deep dive it. I've asked some trainers to come on and give me their points of view. They will be on in some episodes coming up. And then to finish the series off, I'm going to tell you what it really is. I'm going to tell you how to actually fix it. I'm going to tell you why it happens. I'm going to tell you what's going on in the dog's brain so that we can actually put a plan together to fix it. So this series here might go on 4, 5, 6 episodes. I don't know. But the deeper and more I started looking at it, the more upset I got. I was telling the producers, I've been sitting in my car. I have wrote, I have rewrote, I have unwrote, I have started from scratch. I don't know how many times. So I'm hoping this all comes across for you guys in a way that makes sense, but you understand everything I talk about and do is I always want to know why something is going on. What is the root cause? You're never going to fix anything if you don't address why. Man, I mean, keep it as simple as you want to. If you have a thyroid issue, you're certainly not ever going to lose weight. I mean, there are certain things, if you no matter what it is, it's not certain things, it's all things. Until you address why, you will never fix it. And that's what I want to do is, and I want to give you the fix. I don't want to give you the sweet, cuddly bullshit that they feed you out there. The whole reason I started doing this podcast was to expose and tell truths about dog training, how to actually fix dogs. It's not a long, complicated formula that you have to have. You have to have common sense and knowledge of a dog and how dogs operate and put that to practical use to fix problems. And in this day and age, there is none of that. So again, if this comes across a little shoddy and a little out, I apologize, but take it for the information I'm going to give you. What is separation anxiety? Quick Google search. And we come back to our favorite group, the VCA Animal Veterinarians, whatever. We used some of their information before. The reason I decided to go back to this is I'm like, if I'm a layperson in the world and I have a problem, the Veterinary Association would be like probably a really good place where I would trust that information to be factual and to actually help me with something. So, separation anxiety in dogs. Now, let's start by, look at these names. Look at all of these big letters after our names. A D, A, C, V, B. I feel like I'm doing a freaking reading or an eyesight test. These people are extremely intelligent. You see all of those letters after their names, right? So these people are definitely going to be able to give me a way to fix separation anxiety. Separation anxiety is prevalent amongst a lot of dogs. During COVID, I almost rewrote my entire dog training program to help prevent separation anxiety from occurring when everybody went back to work. So I have been through this deep and dirty, people. It is a fixable thing if you understand why. But let's, for layman's purposes, go back and go, we don't know why. Separation anxiety may be preventable. It may be. Oh, God. Hope it is. With proper socialization and training a puppy. Okay, so puppies should be socialized with other animals and people, blah, 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 blah. Puppies need to learn how to have alone time. Oh my gosh, how to amuse themselves, with toys and blah, blah, blah. When you bring your puppy out of alone time to socialize with the family, make sure that you only get him when you are quietly playing, while he is quietly playing with his toys. Reward the behavior that you want your puppy to continue. A well-adjusted puppy should do well, either alone or with the family, and will be less likely to have separation anxiety in the future. Huh, wonderful. So I'm going to start off by telling you this right now. Socialized and how they do it and what you hear is completely wrong. This is a complete topic on its own. But socializing your dog is not taking it and dragging it all over, God's green earth, in every store you can find, around to every park you got, around the neighborhood, at the playgrounds, to your kid's school. That is not socializing your dog. 99% of those dogs end up acting like complete asses in those situations. They're not learning anything except how to act bad in those situations. I've had the same lady with the same two dogs that they have a running group every first Saturday. Every first Saturday, I do my big dog group class. Those two dogs she's been socializing them for 6 months, and they act exactly the same damn way every time I'm there. They haven't got any better. So socializing is different than what you think it is. Alone time. Oh my gosh, people, please. It is vital that you teach your dog it's okay to do nothing. Puppies don't understand that. They always want to be doing something. They run themselves ragged until they pass completely out. You've got to teach a dog it's okay to do nothing. That's why that crate is so vitally important as a puppy, is it provides space from you where the dog is okay, where it can survive and live and thrive without being next to you. We're teaching separation. So it's super important that you start that early. How do I know if my dog's problem is due to separation anxiety? Great question. I'm dying to know. Separation anxiety describes dogs that usually are overly attached or dependent on family members. I don't know. They become extremely anxious and show distress behaviors such as vocalization, destruction, or house soiling when separated from the owners. Most dogs with separation anxiety try to remain close to their owners, follow them from room to room, and rarely spend time outdoors alone. They often begin to display anxiety as soon as the owners prepare to leave. Many, but not all of these dogs have a great deal of need or desire for that physical attention from their owner. During departure or separation, in addition to vocalization, destruction, and elimination, they may be restless, shake, shiver, salivate, refuse to eat, or become quiet and withdrawn, although typically the behavior occurs at the time, blah, 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 blah. All right, listen. That dog that follows you from room to room, I get this when I'm on phone calls with people. It's called a Velcro dog. That's what I call it, Velcro dog. It's like you can't even go potty without the dog coming to help you. I know people that can't get in the shower. The dog ends up in the shower or the bath with them. It's like they're like connected with a second umbilical cord. They can't get rid of this dog. And the problem is they feel sorry. Oh, it's a poor thing. Okay, so you have to understand that then that attention, that always being with you and seeking you, is not what you think it is. It is not. It is not making the dog feel better. It is not the dog needing to be cajoled and loved and soothed. It is not that at all. And when I break this down, when we go over it for real life, and I tell you what's really going on and what that dog is doing, you'll start to understand that. Separation, let's see where we at. Behavior occurs every time the owner leaves. Sometimes get blah, blah, blah. Dogs with separation anxiety are also often quite excited and aroused when the owners come home. Okay, yeah, because your dog never is, right? Separation anxiety might be preventative by ensuring that puppies have scheduled times where they learn to spend time alone. In the crate. Crates are good, or their bed, blah, blah, blah. Some dogs appear to have separation anxiety but are afraid to be home alone because something bad has happened. So, right, fireworks, roofers, blah, 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 blah. Are there other reasons that my dogs may engage in these behaviors? Dogs with separation anxiety, vocalization become destructive, or eliminate beginning either as the owner prepares to leave or shortly after departure. Destructive activity is often focused on owner possessions see, this is a good one. The door where the owner departs or the dog is confined. Okay, so let's look at this. You name me one dog that isn't excited when you come home. Even that senior dog that can't hardly stand up anymore gets up and wags its tail and runs to the door and would jump on you if it could. That has nothing to do with anything at all. That's every home I go into. You can leave for 5 minutes and come back and the dog's excited to see you, jumps all over you like you've been gone half a day. So let's just I don't even know why it's in there. Prevention. Spend time alone in the crates. That will help. Teach a separation. I like that. It's good. Puppies don't naturally do that. So it's super important that we help them through that at an early age. So make sure you're utilizing kennels and doing that separation and giving that dog some alone time. That is proper and that is good. And it will assist to a certain degree, yes. But at this point, it seems to me that we're really focusing on learning some alone time. Okay? And if it was all about alone time, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because dogs are alone all the time. So there's something more going on there. Dogs wander off from you, they go outside or they go in the other room and they're fine. So there's something more going on there. Why do dogs always go after their owner's possessions? Now that's unique because this is a huge cue as to the actual problem. Of course, they're not going to tell you what the actual problem is. So the owner's possessions, the most common things I get that dogs destroy, socks and underwear. Hair scrunchies, eyeglasses, remote controls, all stuff that are high scent items. When that dog tears those up, chews those up, destroys those things, it is like a direct, I am angry at you. You are causing this. Why are you not here right now? But it is very much so going to be the owner's possessions or scent items, always. Another interesting one is, why is it the door that they leave? Because this is more real than you think. So if you leave out the front door, that's the front door or the front blinds are what get chewed up and tore up. But people that go out through like the laundry room into the garage and leave that way, they chew up and tear up and try to scratch through the garage door, entry into the garage through that door. So it is very specific to where their owner left. Start thinking about this, because as we talk about it in real life and what's really going on, this is going to make a lot more sense to you. A lot more sense. Let's move on. The vocalization is due to distress and may therefore consist of howling or whining. See, I didn't even mark this, but that's bullshit. You know what howling or whining does? Here's a little insight to the truth. It brings the pack back. What happens if a puppy gets lost from the pack? It howls and whines in distress. You know what the pack does? Comes back. Remember that. If the dog destroys, vocalizes, or eliminates both while the owners are at home and when they are away, other causes should first be considered. Dogs that eliminate when owners are at home may not be completely house trained or may have a medical problem. And the destruction, elimination, vocalization are more likely to arise the longer the owners are away from the home, and blah, 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 blah. It's, yep. You can read it for yourself. Soiling dog is locked up in a crate, basement, laundry room, maybe due to confinement or barrier anxiety. Now we're going to throw some other anxieties in there. Great. do you just hear it? It's just a bunch of words they're throwing at us. Blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing, just over and over. You are going to hear the same stuff over and over and over and over. Eliminates when the owners are home. Okay, here's the deal. Super simple. 16 to 18 weeks of age, your dog should be potty trained. I guarantee you by 5 months it's potty trained. So what that tells me is more than likely it's marking territory. Oh, Michael, how the hell do you know that? Good, glad you asked. So very simple. Can your dog make it all night long sleeping in the crate without peeing? Yeah, okay, so it can hold it. Mm-hmm. Does it have access to outside? Do you let your dog outside on a regular basis and leave it out there to go to the bathroom? Yes, Michael, we do. Great. When you come over and go, Fluffy, did you just piss on the rug? And Fluffy tucks his head and runs in the other room. Fluffy knows it did something wrong. It knows it shouldn't have peed there. So the dog has the ability to hold it. It has access to go outside, and it knows what it did is wrong, yet it continues to do it. That's marking territory, 100%. Medical problem, your older dogs, yeah, sure. I get older dogs with some incontinence. Yes, it's going to happen. My younger dogs, the biggest thing I see in younger dogs, and it's less than, 1 out of 10 dogs. It's not even 1 out of 10 dogs. So it's probably less than 10%. Have like a UTI. They can get a UTI at a young age, which causes them to go to the bathroom more. And then that causes them to drink more water. So that can be a nasty cycle. But medical conditions just is not a place I generally go to until I make sure the other areas are taken care of first. Confinement or barrier anxiety, super rare. Super rare in my world. Do I have some dogs that just absolutely are not going to stay in a kennel and throw the most horrendous fit and for hours? Yeah. That is such a small, less than 0.5% that I ever see anything like that. So let's just get on with getting on, because we're just getting into areas that really have nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's just leading you astray. It's giving you this information to flood your brain with stuff so you're not paying attention to what they're not telling you. So let's just move on and go to see what we got next. These dogs, because remember, I've taken this right off their website, people. Go check it out. It's the VCA blah, blah, blah. These dogs should be assessed to see if they act in the same way when they are confined while the owner is at home. In the other situations, the anxiety is due to external events, constructions. Yes, that is a very big thing that can trigger. Now, here's the difference that I want you to understand. That would be fear-based. I just, less than 2 weeks ago, had a person say, hey, my dog won't go outside anymore. He's like, hits that back door, turns around, comes back. He will not go out. Or if he does, he sits right on the patio. He will not go out in the yard. I was like, well, what happened in the backyard? I don't know. I was like, did you have roofers next door, tree trimmers? Blah. He goes, oh my gosh, Michael. He goes, I was on the roof the other day, and when I was done with whatever I was doing, he goes, I threw my stuff off, made big noise, and I was like, there you go. He's scared. I was like, take him out there on a leash, run him by it a couple times, and he'll be fine. And the dog was fine. So some of that happens, yes. Old dogs with medical problems such as loss of hearing, yeah, that could go. Loss of sight, yeah, that's not a good one. Painful conditions, cognitive dysfunction, may become more anxious in general, sure, and seek out owners' attention for security and relief. Perhaps the best way to determine if the behavior is due to anxiety associated with the owner's departure is to make an audio tape or movie clip. We could make a movie clip of the behavior when the dog is alone. Where do I start? Before you can begin, be certain that your dog has a sufficient enriched environment and a predictable daily routine. That's going to be important. In addition, all rewards should be identified to ensure that they are only being given for those behaviors that you want to train and not for attention seeking or following. In other words, you should use the very rewards that your dog is seeking to teach independent behavior and to spend time relaxing away. Oh boy, here we go, baby. Here we go. I can't believe they're going to take you away from the dog, but they're going to do it. They're going to tell you that it's attention-seeking behavior. Don't give in to your dog. That your dog is seeking to teach independent behavior and to spend time relaxing away from you. until you can get your dog settled and relaxed while you're at home. He is unlikely to settle when you leave. Well, that does make sense, doesn't it? Okay, so yeah, we talked about it. Yes, the old dogs, yes, that is a very true thing that's going to happen. But the point, where do I start? So what we're getting at is if this is where I start with separation anxiety, then this must be fixing the why or the what is causing the separation anxiety, right? Because this is where I start. I start with enrichment, predictability, scheduling to train. Does any of that, lack of any of that, is that going to cause separation anxiety? I don't think so. But that's what they want us to believe, that if we follow these steps and we start to do these things, we have predictability and we have this enrichment of area and stuff for the dog and the scheduling and the training, then it's all going to be okay. I'm not sure that's what causes separation anxiety. But let's move on and see, because I'm sure we're going to know. Steps you need to follow are: 1, establish a predictable routine. Since your dog is anxious, you need to begin by making his day calmer. I'm just going to yell out there, "Hey, Day, be calmer. Calm down, Day. My dog's having a bad one." By making his day calmer and more predictable, whether you are at home or away. How the hell do you make your dog's day more predictable when you're gone? You're not there. Wouldn't that be pretty predictable? You're not there, so it's just going to be him laying around in the kennel? Whether you're home or away, establish a daily routine so that your dog can begin to predict when he can expect attention, including exercise, feeding, training, playing, and elimination, and when he should be prepared for inattention, napping and playing, favorite toys, blah, blah, blah. Try to schedule these times for object play and naps at times when you would normally depart. Simple enough, right? So these are going to tell us why. So step 1 to fixing my problem: predictable routine. It's great. I hope you do. Dogs love routine. They love it the same way, every day, same time, same food, blah, 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 blah. They do. It does make them feel safe and secure, 100%. How are we going to establish a predictable routine? And how long will it take to do that? Now, if you work, how are you doing that? Then you come home and you're home for a while, and then you go to sleep, and then you get up. So I have to establish this routine. But on Saturday and Sunday, I'm home. You think the dog gets weekends? Am I supposed to take off work just to establish this for the dog? I mean, I'm seriously confused here. What? How long does it take to establish this new routine? A day? A week? A month? How long is it going to take to do that? Is that even feasible in your mind? How are you going to establish this? You work, you grocery shop, all the things that you have to do, but you need to establish. Don't for a second think you need to make your dog fit into your routine. Change your routine to fit your dog. Of course. Needs and feels. 2, environmental enrichment. Here we go. Oh, God, I got ahead of myself. Meeting your dog's needs. Oh, so this is going to tell me what my dog needs, without a doubt. During the time when you are interacting with your dog, make sure that you are meeting all of his needs for, here we go, this is what we have to meet needs for. These are all his areas of need: social interaction, play, exercise, training, and elimination. You want to count those? Social interaction, play, exercise, training, elimination. That's 5 things. Those are his 5 needs. In effect, you should initiate enough regular interactive sessions and enough play and attention so that when each session is over, your dog is prepared to settle down. You think? Your dog, so you're going to have to social interaction until he's ready to settle down. How long does that take? Play until he's ready to settle down. How long will that take? Bathroom. How long does that take? So does he really have to run around to the bathroom and eliminate until he's ready? That sounds weird to me. Training. How long does it take to train and make him tired? How much exercise? How long can your dog run around until he's tired? But we have to do it until they're tired, right? That's what it said. We need to do that until they're tired. Run the session until the dog is prepared to settle. Because we have all the time in the world, right? 5 areas, right? 5 areas. Meeting his needs. You better meet his needs every day. 5 areas. What if let's just say it's 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, and you know it's a damn lie. Your dog needs to be outside a minimum of 15 to 20 minutes just to go to the bathroom, especially as a young dog. 10 minutes. That's 50 minutes. You got an extra hour in your day? Do you have an extra hour in your day? Because that's what they're telling you. To meet his needs and to do what your dog needs you to do as an owner, you better find me that hour. Minimum. Establish a predictable protocol for rewards. This one is the one that pains me a lot. I don't even know if I want to go over it. It is such a ridiculous thing because it is so far from going to help you with anything that I don't even know if it's worth talking about. What does my dog need to learn versus what it doesn't need to learn? I'm going to reward the behavior I want, but yet you can't reward with the attention because the attention is what you're trying to get away from. Guys, it is the most ridiculous thing in the world. It's likely that your dog's favored rewards are the attention and play that you provide. But separation anxiety says, I can't give him, because if you give him you, is he not going to spin out and go out of control? Of course he is. Start playing and running and doing all that. So you're going to take the love and the time away from your dog because it causes him to act bad and get out of control. But that's okay. Don't worry, because, treats, food, chew toys, things like that are highly desirable. So I'm glad to know that in this situation, the dog thinks of me a little bit higher than it does a treat or a toy. I get the whole reinforcing for a settling behavior. But very quickly, when I go to tell him good job and reinforce that with my attention, my pet, my loves, the dog's going to spin out immediately, just like yours always does. So with that, see, listen, there's zero correction. There's zero dog in trouble for the behavior. It's just all, I'm going to change me and positively reward you for good stuff. It is so ridiculously misleading that they couldn't be farther from the truth. And again, this has nothing to do with why the dog has it. So why are we talking about it? We're going to move on. Again, like I said, 4 or 5 times, I've redone this so many times, and this one always irks me. So let's just move on. What behavior should I never reinforce with separation anxiety? You must reinforce your dog for settling down, relaxing, and showing some independence. You're going to reward him. What are you going to reward him with, right? We just talked about that. Be reinforced. Therefore, training should be focused on extended and relaxed down stays and going to the bed or mat on command. So we're teaching calming, settling, and relaxation skills now. So instead of telling the dog what it's doing is wrong, we are going to train it to do something different in that moment. Let it sink in, because that makes zero sense. If your dog seeks attention, you should either ignore your dog entirely. Well, that goes against all the FFers. Well, that's what your puppy wants. Aren't you supposed to give it to him? Ignore your dog entirely until he settles, or have him do a down stay or go to his mat. After sufficient time in the downstay on the mat, give attention or affection as a reward. Gradually shape longer periods of inaction before attention is given. The goal is not to ignore the dog, but rather to ignore attention-seeking behaviors. Yeah, Michael, you're an idiot. You don't know about, we're not ignoring the dog, just those behaviors. You want your dog to learn that calm and quiet behavior is the only way to receive attention. Gradually shape longer periods. When are you going to do that? You do it in the evening when you get home? I mean, you've been at work all day. Your dog's going to be completely spun out of control and crazy. What are you going to go straight to go to your mat and don't move? What happens if the kids are home? How are we going to start shaping this longer and longer? Kids got stuff to do. What happens if I'm going to go to dinner? What happens if the wife's birthday and I'm supposed to take her out that night? What happens if we do meal prep the night before for tomorrow for the kids' lunches? What happens if I have to run to the hardware store because one of the kids has a project due? What happens when the grass needs mowed? What happens when the pool needs cleaned? What happens when I have a kid's birthday party? What happens when I have to go to the grocery store? When am I going to fit these prolonged periods of time together for my dog so that it learns this new behavior? When am I going to do that with all my extra time? Let's go to 4 because it's great. Train the settle. See how we're just talking about the same stuff over and over again? The goal of training is that your dog learns to settle comfortably on cue. Focus on having your dog in a settled down or lying on his bed or mat or crate before you give any reward. Not only should attention-seeking behaviors be ignored, but all the casual interactions should be avoided for the first few weeks so that it is clear to both of you and your dog that the respond achieves rewards. Oh my gosh, people. Practice downstays and mat exercises using food lures, clicker trainings, and or head halter training. Oh my gosh, that's so aversive. Can't even believe they put that in there. Whichever is most effective. Gradually shape longer stays, longer times on the bed or mat before attention, affection, and treats are given. Back to the settle, the relaxation, and the calm. So just teach a settle. That's all I got to do. Does that in any way address why the dog's not settled? You're not addressing it, people. I'm gonna take a behavior I don't want. I'm gonna tell it to do something else, and I'm gonna keep doing that over and over and over again. And then it's never gonna do that other behavior. That's absolutely ridiculous. Just like teaching a dog to ring a bell doesn't stop it from marking territory in the house. It won't. The dog rings a bell. It makes you get up and get off the couch. You go open the door, goes outside, runs around, comes inside. It still marks in your house. Ringing the bell and going outside doesn't fix the problem of marking territory. Teaching the dog when it's starting to get anxiety or not calm or relaxed, teaching it to go lay on its bed is not going to fix that from happening again tomorrow or next time you leave. The two aren't even related. Develop an area and surface for it's getting better, people. I need a Fosterpedic with massage and heat and cool. Maybe I can move the dog's legs up in the air a little bit. Having a bed or mat location in a room, pen, or crate where your dog can be taught to rest, nap, play with his toys, or even sleep can provide a secure area where your dog might settle when you're not home. You can begin by training your dog. You're going to train our dog to do something again, not fix a problem. We're going to train to do something else. Train your dog to go to the area and gradually shape longer stays. Here we're back, shaping longer stays and more relaxed response in the area before reward is given. It might be helpful to have a barricade. I thought we had some barricade anxiety. Tie down crate should be closed to ensure that your dog remains in the area for long enough. The session before beginning is released. On the other hand, you know your dog's limits. Your dog must be calm and settled when released. Oh my gosh, the crying and barking. What do you do then? You just stop, the dog starts crying and barking. Oh my gosh, there's so much here, guys, you just don't get. At first, your dog can be taken to this area as part of his training routine, using a toy or treat or lure, or by using a leash and head halter. In time, a daily routine should be established where the dog learns to lie on the mat after each exercise, play, and training session to either nap or play with his toys. This is similar to the routine for the crate training where the bed becomes a dog's playpen. Blah, 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 blah. Again, we're not getting anywhere where we're going to get any answers to why, and it is so frustrating. I'm just getting pissed sitting here just doing this right now. Set up an area or a space for the dog. Teaching the dog about its reaction to things. We're gonna train it to go in here and stay. But there's nothing about correcting the dog for the bad behavior. There's never anything about the bad behavior and telling the dog what it's doing is wrong. That is the most retarded thing I've ever heard in my life. The dog is, if it's whining and crying in the crate, I'm knowing my dog's limitations. I know it's gonna do it for 10 minutes. Should I not let it do it? Because it's obviously an agony because it's whining and crying. So how am I ever expanding on it on the time and making it longer if that's all that ever happens? It's never going to change. The dog's going to figure it out. This whole thing of 5 is just like kind of like a recap of what 4 just was. It just makes no sense. Oh, I just want to. I don't even know how these people put this information out for the general public and pat themselves on the back and go, that's a good piece of information that's going to help some people. That's going to fix separation anxiety in so many homes. We are going to save so many dogs from going to the pound and being euthanized with this bit of literature that we're putting out. It's amazing. It is really going to do the trick. We really dove deep into this, and it's really good. There is nothing that we have gone over yet that is helpful to you. For separation anxiety, there is nothing. Now let's go on. Where are we at? Exercise and training sessions focus on giving your dog some or all of his rewards. Treats, toys, chews, affection, feeding toys only in the area. Audible cues. You guys, I just don't, you can't make this up. Audible cues, such as a radio or TV. Odors such as aromatherapy, maybe some candles, maybe some rose petals, maybe a piece of your clothing, maybe a nice comfortable bed. I'm saying Posturepedic, massage, can help to promote relaxed responses since they are associated with relaxation and owner presence. I don't even want to talk about it, guys. You don't do that for your spouse. You don't put the candles on and set the mood and da-da-da-da-da. You don't do that for your spouse, but you need to do that every morning when you leave for your dog. Are you kidding me? What about that makes any sense? I'm telling you, I am so pissed right now because it's going to do no good. Go spend some more money. Go buy some candles and some pheromones and go get your dog a nicer bed because the one you got's not nice enough. They are setting you up with all of this shit because it's almost impossible to do. And I'm going to tell you, this is the truth of it. They're going to set you up with all this shit to do. We're getting into more of it. Did you do this? Yeah, I did this. Did you do this? Yes, I did that. What about 3, 4, and 5? Did you get, well, I didn't get those. Well, that's why. That's why your dog still has separation anxiety. It's not because I don't know what I'm talking about. You didn't do all the things that you could have done to fix it. How long have you done your shaping? And have you moved that up to 10 to 30 minutes? Where are you at on that? Well, I had a sick kid last week, so we had to kind of put that dog training on hold, and I couldn't do any of that prolonged staying on its bed. So we kind of backstep. Well, that's your fault. It's not my information I'm giving you's fault. You're not following through with it. They are going to make it so fucking impossible for you to do all these things that it's going to be back on you every time. I guarantee it. Turn the TV on. Turn the radio on. Buy candles. Buy a new bed. Leave your dirty socks in the kennel with the dog. That's going to fix your separation anxiety. Work on a response to simple commands. Oh shit, we're going to get to some actual training? For some dogs, it's also useful to have them... Don't even read that part. Don't do it. Earn? So you're going to tell the dog what to do. Well, we don't do that in FF. We don't want to tell the dog what to do. That's rude. This can be as simple as having a dog's response to the command such as sit before receiving anything at once. For example, if your dog wants to go outside prior to opening the door, require the dog to sit. And once he complies, the door comes open. This technique can be used for everything the dog desires. When I need to leave, what can I do immediately to prevent damage? This is an extremely difficult question. The goal of treatment is to reduce your dog's level of anxiety by training her to feel comfortable in your absence. This can be a long process. Work on response to commands. Earn it. Actually make them do what I want them to do as opposed to what they want to do. That doesn't sound very positive to me. Problem is all the dog does is it figures it out real quick. You're not gonna open the door till I sit. So they just run over and sit. And as soon as you crack the door open, boom, like a shot out the door. Still almost busted off the hinges as it goes out. It's the same. I hear people tell me all the time, "Well, my dog will sit for its food, Michael boy. It knows." Oh, stop. The only reason it's sitting for its food because it knows you won't put it down until it sits there. So it sits there and waits for you to put it down. And no more than you bend halfway over to set it on the ground, the dog's already up running over there eating the food. The dog is still outthinking you every turn of the way. That is not the dog earning anything. The dog very quickly manipulates you into giving you what it wants. I have to sit before I get something? That's real tough on the dog. Please. What else we got? How do you train? Oh, this is good, guys. Do you think you can train an animal to feel comfortable? I'm going to train you to be comfortable. This whole premise is to train the dog to be relaxed, to train the dog to be calm in your absence. But does that make sense? To train something to feel a certain way. You can't train something to feel a certain way. It doesn't make sense. That's a lot of everything that they're doing with all this humanizing of the dog that we always talk about, and how they're making this so it's such an emotional creature now, and it's so sophisticated now, and it's not a pack, and it's there's no alpha and there's no dominance, and we're humanizing so much. So if that's the case, let's just go with them and say it's true. How would this look on the human side? Let's say I have anger issues, and today I do. I fucking have anger issues like you would not believe with this. Can I be trained not to be angry? Is there a training course out there for me not to be angry? Can I go sign up, take a course, and they train me how not to be angry? What happens if I have depression? Can you train the depression out of me? On the premise that they're giving you, I can do it with a dog. Settled, relaxed, calm. Training, repetition. They'll get it. What happens if I'm suicidal? Can you train me not to be suicidal? Is there a course? Is it online? If I'm angry, the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to want to know why. If I'm depressed, the first thing we are going to have to figure out is why. If I am suicidal, the first thing we have to figure out is why. And guess the fuck what? If I have anxiety over something, the first thing I'm going to have to do is figure out why. Buying a better bed is not going to help me. Giving me a treat is not going to help me. Giving me prolonged times of alone will not help me. You are not going to teach me not to have anxiety without addressing why the anxiety is there to begin with. It's not happening. This whole thing has yet to address any underlying issues at all. If you're not addressing why, you are never fixing the problem. 2 more. Holy mackerel. We might not make it that far. And trust me, this is half the literature. They give you like 80 pages of this crap of nothing. We're halfway through what on their website. We're halfway through it, and I have not anywhere closer to understanding why a dog does it or have any reasonable thing that I can do to fix it. But I digress. Yet most owners will need to deal with the damage or vocalization immediately. During initial retraining, it may be best to hire a dog sitter, take your dog to work, find a friend to care for your dog for the day, board her for the day, or arrange to take some time off from work. Create training or dog proofing techniques may work for those dogs that already have an area that they have been confined. For dog separation anxiety, crates should be used with caution because they can promote intense escape attempts. It hurt the dog. It's important to choose a room, an area to increase the dog's anxiety. Your dog's bedroom or feeding area may therefore be the most practical. Booby traps might also be used to keep the dog away from potential problems. For vocalization, anti-anxiety meds and pheromones may also be useful in the short term until the owner effectively corrected the problem. All right. It's a long process. Does not have to be. That's a lie. That's a straight out lie. But see, it's a long process because what they're doing doesn't work. That's why it's a long fucking process. I will promise you without a shadow of a doubt, after I leave one lesson, 2 hours of training, I have reduced that separation anxiety by 75 to 85%. Done. Now it's livable. That is making a difference. I'm dealing with that vocalization now. So let's look at some more reality of them. The in reality, the unreality, whatever word is, that you are going to have to do to make this work. Hire a dog sitter. Yeah, just hire a dog sitter. What about take the dog to work? Come on, everybody raise your hand. How many people can take their dog to work? It acts like an ass at home, and you're going to take it to work. I'm sure that's going to work out well. Have a friend care for your dog for the day. What the hell? Your friend, doesn't have a job? Who do you know that doesn't have a job? Is they come over and watch your dog all day? Are you... Boarding. Yeah, there's some more money. Dog sitter, boarding. Let's keep throwing money after it. And none of those are going to help you. They're just kind of keeping something from bad happening for now. You guys price boarding lately? Price it. Price that boarding. See how you like that. Or we just take some time off for work. Well, shit, how much is that going to cost? Just look at it. What's realistic about that? None of it. Now, maybe you're someone that has like that infinite amount of money. You can just spend a bunch of money on it. Maybe so, but most people don't. What the hell are they? A booby trap. What the? Am I back in the 70s? I'll set a booby trap for my dog. What the hell is a booby trap? I literally almost wanted to get a hold of these people and go, can I get some more information on this booby trap? Do you realize? Do you realize? Aversives, right? Oh, I'm a aversive trainer. I'm a mean guy. A booby trap? Do you realize an actual booby trap is against the law? Because it's a very aversive. It's going to hurt somebody. What the fuck is a booby trap? Anti-anxiety meds. I need some anti-anxiety meds today. Here's the deal. I get way more dogs off of anxiety meds than I put on. Freaking 1,000 to 1. Do some dogs need them? Yes. It takes just enough edge off that we can actually train and get some stuff done. And then we try to slowly wean them back off that at some point. 100%. But it is definitely not a go-to. Pheromones, I have seen very little evidence personally. We've used, they got big about 10 years ago. People are using pheromones and oils and stuff like that in a lot of things. The closest thing to it is the CBD. That I've actually seen work. But again, I mean, whether you're using CBD and actually making your dog high, or whether you're using some sort of chemical, ace propofol or whatever their crap is they put them on these days, or Prozac, it chemically changes or it's going to make your dog high. I would hope we wouldn't need any of that to actually fix a problem. Lack of CBD did not cause the problem. Didn't. So I'm not sure how it fixes it. It doesn't. It masks it. That's all it does, is it puts a Band-Aid on it. And it doesn't, the end result doesn't rear its ugly head. The destruction, the vocalization. Your dog still feels the anxiety. He's just not acting on it anymore because he's high. Which is about what most of these suggestions are. Their dog's just not acting on it right now because you're telling it to go over there and lay down. Big whoopee. As soon as you leave, what do you think is going to happen? Same thing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to shut it down at this point. I've got to do a reset on me because I'm just like, it's unbelievable to me how, because the next part, it just gets incredible to me. Because these people are seriously trying to get to the point where you have zero time for you. You are changing you. All the changes, all the adjustments are made by the human. We're not requiring the dog to change or do anything. Everything's on us. And that's not fair to the human. And that is why there are 13,000 freaking dogs a year given up at the Dallas Pound. Because all of this is put on the human. All these FF trainers, these P positive plus trainers, all they're putting it on you. It's never the dog's fault. You're not willing to work 16 hours a day on fixing your dog. You mean you're not willing to take 2 weeks off of work to fix your dog? Really? You're a terrible person. So when we get into this next part, you're going to see this, and now we're going to talk. They're going to break down and show you the time commitment, and it's going to blow your mind because there is no possible way any human has this kind of extra time in their day. So I'm going to try to get through all of this in a 2 episodes. If not, it'll carry over to 3. But I am going to dive in and I'm going to tear apart all of this crap because it's all the same. Whether it's coming off of the veterinarian's website or it's coming off of local trainers, that's an R+ quadrant trainer, it's all the same crap. They're all getting it from the same place. They're all going to tell you the same thing. And it's all unrealistic. For everybody out there, it's unrealistic. Unless you have absolutely nothing to do and you won the lotto. Good for you. Go save a bunch of puppies and throw treats at them all day. Have fun. But for the rest of us that want to keep our dog, and we have a family, and we have a job, and we have a life, and we want to have the best of all of that, you got to learn how to do it the right way. So by the time I get done tearing them apart, hopefully I'm going to find some trainer that wants to come on. And trust me, when the trainers come on, I'm not going to be aggressive with them. I just want to talk to them. I got questions, and I just want honest answers. Because I guarantee you none of these trainers are fixing the problem. And if they are, it's taking months. You had another trainer in here just the other day that was in here, his release today. He was talking about how it can take months, if not years, to fix problems doing it with the FF style. And still the problem's not completely fixed. It's just kind of mass. It will always come back. I want to give you guys the ability to keep your dog in your home, not have to spend 6 hours a day training your dog, and to know that the relationship with that dog is better and you're doing things to help your dog's anxiety. There are ways that you, the human, can absorb your dog's anxiety so it doesn't feel that way. I do it with my owners all the time. I was gonna bring in one of the clips. It's on my Facebook page. Go to the Facebook page, and you'll be able to see it. You can go on the Facebook page, and I talked to her about that dog had so much anxiety, and we're on week 4, and that dog is smoothed out. We actually took it to a park. That dog's never been to a park before because it got so anxious there, it would just absolutely overreact. So I'll put this out there. We could do a Chiron later on the bottom of the screen. You look me up. You hit me up. Any trainer, any question. I've got a website. I'll put a Facebook page up there. I'll put my direct line, my phone number on there. Go straight to my cell phone, my work phone. If you want to talk about these things and you want to set me straight and you've got years of experience to prove it, then let's go. I will have you on gladly. I would love to do it. Let's sit down and talk about it. I would love for you to tell me what I said today and how I tore that apart is wrong. Because I've got client after client after client, thousands and thousands and thousands of dogs that I have trained on the civilian side since 2005. I have been in every one of those homes and dealt with every one of those dogs, and I see it every single day. And you can fix it, and you can fix it quickly. 85% gone one day. So guys, listen. I am going to go have a drink because I'm stressed out. Maybe a Valium. I'm going to go see if I can find a dog that's on some and take theirs. Halloween, Happy Halloween. Go out there, have some fun. Get your dog out. Go train. Make your dog behave. Make requests of your dog. Tell your dog what to do. That's going to make your dog feel relaxed. It's going to make your dog feel calm because you're in control, not it. So go out there, do some training, have a blast, have a good time with your dog. Happy training, and guys, we are going to continue separation anxiety next time.